The federal government will invest in research, treatment and support services for teenagers with anorexia nervosa. The move, announced today, has been welcomed by the father of Olivia Evans, who died of the condition last month at the age of 15, and he's been campaigning for change. Robb Evans joins us now. Rob, thank you so much for being with us. So this package is worth $70 million. What difference is it going to make?
Well, I think any more attention and focus that we can get in the area of eating disorders, it's got to be a help. I mean, I think if we just throw money at the problem, it doesn't necessarily solve it. So I think funding is one thing. But then I think we need to make sure that the funding is used very effectively, because there are certain treatments that probably wouldn't have made any impact to my daughter. So I think there needs to be a lot more research, I guess, in the areas that do work better, so that we can better support our young people.
Can you tell us about Olivia, Rob, and what happened to her?
Yeah, sure. I guess, look, what started as looking like just a young girl being fussy with eating at the age of around 13, it manifested fairly quickly into more restrictive eating, and then turned into, about 12 months later, a terminal case of anorexia. And we were battling so hard to, with the professionals, to find the appropriate treatment for her. But unfortunately, her body and mind gave out. I mean, the process, it's kind of a revolving door that mainly the girls seem to go through. And unfortunately, each time she would come out of hospital, she was a little bit worse, and trying to get those breakthroughs in her mindset to want to be motivated to make some change was just so difficult, and ultimately ended up in her life ending, as you mentioned, about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so sorry to hear that, Rob. Did you identify a trigger that caused her eating disorder?
Yes, and unfortunately, it's one we hear all too commonly. She was bullied. Unfortunately, society doesn't seem to cope with people that are a little bit different, and Olivia was a little different to most kids her age, and that made her a target. And of course, that meant that she didn't really fit in. She did struggle to make strong friendships, and unfortunately, that bullying manifested itself into the eating disorder, which she wasn't able to talk about at the time. And it's only probably about 6 months ago that she was really able to articulate it to me as to what happened. One of your previous stories, you mentioned about autism, and she was also, through this process, diagnosed as being on the spectrum as well. So I think if we had all the information at the beginning, perhaps the treatment would look a little bit different. But it's such a difficult illness to identify as a problem to start with, and then the different pathways to helping our young children get through it in that those such precious ages between 13 to 16, it's so difficult, and there's not one simple solution to fix it. I think it's a combination of things, starting with in school about body image and self-image and resilience and so forth.
So are there two big things that are going on here, Rob, then? There's not enough understanding of both the causes and the treatments of the condition, that there really isn't enough known about the complexity of anorexia and other eating disorders.
Yeah, I think you've probably articulated that very well there. I think one of the, I was talking to somebody yesterday about how I've been blamed for her illness, because I work in the health and fitness industry, and by more than one person. And one of the problems with the eating disorder is there can be people watching this right now and say, oh, we feel sorry for you, but it's not like it's cancer. And to be honest, the solution's simple. The kids just have to eat, but we don't understand just how insidious it is unless you live in our shoes as a parent trying to feed your child and trying to break through these barriers to make some progress. So I think absolutely understanding it more, and awareness of it, to make sure that people can comprehend it. And then I think we need more of a solution-based thinking type approach to it, rather than just, okay, we've got funding to use here, let's just put it in the same old resources, when we know that that's that's really failing some of our kids and ultimately failed my daughter.
Rob, we are so sorry for your loss, and thank you for coming on to talk to us about Olivia so soon after she passed just a month ago. Robb Evans, thank you.
Thank you.
And if this story has raised any issues for you, you can contact the Butterfly Foundation on 1800 33